All I want to do is be a Super Saiyan. I wanna. Ah, fuck it. Let's do it live.
Alright, this is October 29th, 2023, and today we're going to be doing our first episode of the Long Road Podcast.
Well, we are in Defiance, Ohio. Not too far from the Bar Centers, guys. And it is hopping over there tonight. So if you are in town looking to get fucked up on Sunday, you can go to Sinners.
Sunday.
Monster Truck Rally at Sinners.
Yeah.
Just destroy everything around here.
It's like, who would be at the bar on a Sunday night? And he said, oh, who would go to a bar named Sinners on Sunday night? I wonder.
A little bit of gluttony over there.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of lust. I don't know.
Way too many drinks.
Or not enough. Who knows?
Yeah.
We're not over there. We're doing this tonight for your enjoyment. And for our enjoyment. Let's be honest. We're not doing this to amuse anybody but ourselves.
Yeah, nobody's actually listening to this anyways.
Oh, everybody's going to listen to this. We're going to be on Joe Rogan's podcast one day.
Except for Jake. Shout out to Jake Hinkle. He said he'd make sure we listened to it if it was on Spotify.
And we're putting it on Spotify.
Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music. What's that other one? That you were like, oh, make sure you put it on there. Rumble. That's what it was, yeah.
We're on Rumble too.
We're also on Rumble.
YouTube,
Catch us on all of them.
Rumble, and Spotify.
Amazon Music.
Which is connected to Spotify.
Yeah, yep.
It's so weird being alive now. It really is. It's a weird time.
Dude, all the stuff going on in Israel. We got the Hamas and Gaza and all of that shit. Shooting down missiles in the Red Sea every 5 minutes that are aimed at Israel.
And the shootings going on in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Fort Wayne, Ohio, yeah. Me and my dad were going to go to Fort Wayne to record a music video. Or not a music video, like a YouTube video. At the mall. And he was like, nah, I don't feel like doing it today. So we just went out to eat and hung out or whatever. And Fort Wayne Mall got shot up that day.
Okay, it wasn't shot up.
There's an active shooter there. It was over whatever.
It was a dispute between individuals. One of them decided to pull out a gun and shoot the other one. And that's what happened.
Yeah.
And that's what also happened before. The last time the mall, quote unquote, got shut up.
Yeah, so let me pull it up. That girl. How did you say your name? Amaranth?
Amaranth?
Amaranth. Yeah.
Oh, we got some Twitch news going on now.
She's collabing with a beer company to brew a new flavor using her vaginal yeast.
Yeah, so if you're into that,
it's by Yoni Beer.
There you go.
Yep. Ain't that gonna be something? Are you gonna drink it?
No.
Yeah, neither am I.
Obviously.
Who would buy that?
People
never mind.
Into, people into Amaranth.
Dumb question.
I'm not into Amaranth. There's another one, Unity, I think, too, that's kind of like on the same level as Amaranth.
Yeah, so who is she? She's a Twitch streamer?
Yeah, they're all Twitch streamers.
Gotcha.
That's how they started anyways.
So they're just real big on Twitch and everything. Does she play games or something?
I have no clue. I'm not really sure how. I'm assuming she does.
Yeah, I don't know. Who just kind of thinks of that? Like, oh, look, I guess it hasn't been done before. Yeah, probably because it just shouldn't be done.
Obviously, it's a business model that has worked. So
Yeah, I guess they've also said that they're gonna. There's a bunch of other ones. It's not just Amaranth. There's like 4 other girls, and they're gonna go to a what's the doctor called for that? Like no, I almost said orthopedist, but that's not it.
A doctor.
Yeah, like the doctor when they go get checked out. The vag doctor.
Oh, the gynecologist.
Philanthropist, gynecologist, yeah.
The philanthropist.
I don't know. The gynecologist. They're gonna have gynecologists take vaginal swabs, and then take it into a lab, and then separate the good yeast from it and all of the bacteria, and get rid of all the bacteria so that it's USD approved or whatever for consumption.
Okay.
I promise
So
nobody
if I
will
knew
get
that's
sick.
where you were gonna go down, I would have stopped you a long time ago. We didn't need that.
That's just I seen Moist Critical's video about it, and that's what they got a whole thing on it.
No.
There's a whole description and how they're gonna do it and where it's at and everything
That's
else.
disgusting.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking nasty.
So if you spend money to that, just so you know, we think you are disgusting.
You're a fucking idiot. Basically.
Might as well be buying bath water.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, to move on from that, get more kind of in the Halloween spirit. I went and seen Five Nights at Freddy's.
And how was that?
Yeah, it was a movie.
Oh.
It was alright. It wasn't. It wasn't terrible. It was just kind of weird. Oh, should I go spoilery or should I give like a warning? So if you haven't watched it yet, turn off your ears. I'm about to do a little bit of spoilering. Just skip ahead.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert. So basically, they Bonnie, Freddy, Chica, all the animatronics, they go into like all the lore behind them and everything, and they start to kill they kill a couple people, make them all scary and shit, and then the security guard guy, Mike or whatever his name is, takes his sister Abby there, and then the animatronics like Abby, and there's also this girl cop that's there. Her name's Vanessa or something like that. And so Vanessa, Mike, Abby, and the animatronics build a pillow and blanket fort.
Okay.
And
this happened in the movie?
Yep.
Okay.
They slaughtered a bunch of people. They moved on from it like nothing happened. And then he took his little sister there because he has like custody of his sister because their parents are dead or whatever. And Freddy, Chica, Bonnie, and Foxy all make a giant blanket fort in the middle of the pizzeria. Yeah, just randomly in the middle of the movie. Like, it just happens.
Uh-huh.
And then some, like, the Vanessa chick, she's like, she's all like, oh yeah, like, this is great. Like, apparently she knows about it. She knew about the animatronics and everything. And she's like, it's so great that, Freddy and friends have someone to play with. And then...
So these things are sentient things.
So, it's the ghost of children. That, what's his name? The main guy that made the pizzeria and made Freddy's and everything. He was like a serial killer, and he's played by Matthew Lillard, the guy that voices like Scooby or Shaggy from Scooby Doo, and he played in the live action ones. That guy, he was in like Scream and shit too.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the guy's name though, the person in the movie, but he was a serial killer, and he worked in this pizzeria and everything, so he owned it, and he would lure kids away and kill them. So it is so all the spirits of the dead kids he killed got put into animatronics. And that's how they move around and stuff.
They're a combination of spirits, or is
each kid had one of the animatronics. So there's Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy. I think there's 4.
They should do a crossover with Chucky.
Oh God,
Child's
yeah,
Play.
that's kind of the same thing that happened, right?
He put his soul into a child's doll.
Yeah. Yeah, Chucky terrified me as a kid.
Mm-hmm. It was scary.
Yeah, especially when you're like 4.
You gotta love that accent too.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't fuck with Chucky. I see they have those like life-size doll ones of them.
Yep.
They're like, oh yeah, no, fuck that.
Oh.
But yeah, basically, so Vanessa like, they do that. They build the fort, and Vanessa goes to get something out of a broom closet, and Mike follows her, and he says like one thing, and then Vanessa just. It's like they didn't know how to transition back over to it being a horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
So she's all happy and everything, and then just like click, she's like, "You should have never brought Abby here. If I ever see her back here, I'm gonna kill you."
Oh wow.
And then it just back to the scary tone of shit, and he's like, "What the fuck?" And everyone else is like, "What the fuck?" And then it just goes from there. Other than that, though, like, it was pretty good. They set it up for a sequel and everything else. William Afton, that's the guy's name that made Freddy's Pizzeria and everything. But yeah.
So did they not kill anybody?
Oh yeah, they killed a bunch of people.
Oh, who?
What do you mean? Like, who did the animatronics kill?
Mm-hmm.
There was one point when, they're not like kids, but they were like, their 20s and 30s. It's like this group, the villainous group around the town, the little gang or whatever. They break in.
Teenage gang that smokes, does drugs.
Yeah,
has
some
sex,
very unsavory individuals.
goes into this weird, broken down pizzeria.
Yeah, and just starts breaking shit.
Animatronics kill them.
Yeah, they start wrecking shit and taking stuff. And,
oh no.
Yeah, and then they get locked in there and they all die.
Classic
So there's a cupcake, and it's like a giant cupcake that's like the size of your head, and it opens up. It's like a mimic from D&D.
And one of them got eaten by it.
Oh, it clamped onto the one dude's face, and it had razor blades spinning on the inside, and just clamped onto his face, and
nice.
yeah. Freddy bit a girl in half. Yeah.
I bet that didn't feel very good.
Yeah, probably not. But yeah, I'd give it like a 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. If they made a sequel, I'd probably watch it. I'm glad I seen it. I don't know if I'd ever watch it again, but yeah.
Was the movie theater pretty packed?
Yeah, there was a decent amount of people. I wouldn't say it was packed. I'd say
Did
it
you
was
go
like
opening day or?
No, we went. I think it came out Friday, and I went Saturday.
Okay.
So it was like, I'd say it was like halfway full people. They had a bunch of different movie times and stuff too.
Were there people outside when you were leaving?
Yeah.
Going to see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the last movie I went to go see in theaters, was it The Meg 2?
I remember you telling me about that.
Oh my god. I walked out.
Did you?
I walked out 20 minutes into it, I was out of there.
Oh, why?
It just kept going. Like, the first movie was already kind of cheesy, right?
Yeah.
It kind of had... You had the Jaws theme going on, and then Jason Statham was in it, and you know what was going to happen. He's going to save the day, get the girl, save the girl. Well, this one, the girl wasn't in it, so I was already not interested.
The girl from the first one?
Yeah.
She's just not in it?
Her little girl is, I think.
Like their daughter?
Yeah, his daughter. No, her daughter, not his daughter.
Oh, not their daughter?
No.
Her daughter? Yeah.
But the mom was like, yeah, I'm doing my own thing. I'm doing something over here. So screw you guys. Screw you, Jason Statham.
Yeah, just removed her from the cast.
And I was like, if there's power suits in this, if they go Power Rangers or something weird, I'm out of here.
Wait, hold on. So
In
the
20
girl's not in it, but she's like, yes, take my daughter to this undersea expedition. Even though we already know that there was a Meg down there.
Yeah.
And she gave him... Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Continue. I was just curious.
And look, 20 minutes into it, the damn power suits came into play. And I'm like...
Oh, they really
okay,
did had some Power Rangers.
So this
shit
is
going
where
on?
it's going to go.
Oh, God.
Alright. And the movie kept going, it kept going. They went underwater, they got stuck. And I was like, alright, I'm out of here. I can't... This is just too ridiculous. So that was probably like 30 minutes, 45 minutes into the movie, I guess. And it's like an hour 45, 50, 2 hours.
Surprised they didn't try to make it 3 hours long.
I know. And me and my sister, we went to go see it with her dad. And me and my sister, I was like, hey, I'm out of here. I'm not watching this. And she was like, I'm coming too. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I know. I remember seeing the trailers for it. And it was like... the original Predator will thrive again or something like that. And it's showing like dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm.
Like a T-Rex pops out and like does its roar and everything. And I'm like, oh, is this a new Jurassic Park movie? Nope, a Meg comes out of the water, bites the T-Rex, pulls him into the water, and I was like, oh, is this a Jurassic Park movie? And then it said the Meg, and I'm like, oh, yeah, it was totally Jurassic Park. Was there dinosaurs in the movie?
So...
Spoiler, I guess.
So after we left, we went to go see it at Jefferson Point in Fort Wayne. We went to Burlington Coat Factory, and like another 20 minutes passed when we were shopping. Dad walks out, and I was like, "Oh, how was the movie?" And he's like, "Oh, I didn't stay to the end." He even walked out.
Yeah.
And I was like, "So it was stupid when me and Elena walked out. How much stupider did it get between us walking out and you realizing how dumb it gets in this movie?" He was like, "Well, there was some weird, there's like these weird creatures that came up from where the Megs were that attacked like a whole beach of people.
Like aliens?
If you should look it up on YouTube because it's a weird scene, I guess. Because I remember in the Big Book of Everything, they showed like how humans kind of evolved, and like the first fish that walked up on the land, it kind of looked like one of those things, like something from a long ass time ago. And when he
was it these things? Hold on, there's a. There's like lizards.
This is in those things.
Those things.
I guess when those things showed up, he got the hell out of there.
So yes, they just swam up because it's about the Mariana Trench, right?
Yes. Because I guess there's some sort of film that's separating the ocean that we know and then an ocean down below as well.
Like in the trench?
Yeah.
So I'm guessing they fucked with the film that was over it and released
a bunch of stuff.
Oh, great. Well, at least Jason Statham's not like getting superpowers and flipping over cars like Vin Diesel does.
No, he's doing
in
superpower stuff in that super suit that they had on.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, we did say they had that. Never mind. Yeah.
Like I said, like 20 minutes into the movie, I was like, I already know what's gonna happen. I don't need to be here for this to happen.
See, I don't get how. Wouldn't they try to make it like at least halfway realistic? Like.
No, because they already, by the end of the first one, they already went like so over the top. Where do you go after that?
Yeah.
You just got to kind of keep going.
Now the important question is, did they set it up for another one?
I don't know.
No one stayed for it.
We don't know. We have no clue.
Let's look at the numbers and how much like the.
Yeah, and I blame my dad because the only reason they made a second one is because of my dad. Because he bought the Blu-ray for the first one. And when that thing came into the mail and I opened it, I was like, what the hell is this? It's like, if they make a second one, this is all your fault. And they made a second one. Nobody's to blame but my dad.
Alright, so the production budget on the Meg 2 was $129 million.
That's respectable.
And they made $30 million opening weekend. So how much did they make in total? That's still kind of, yeah. Yeah, latest rankings on cumulative box office list. They've made almost $400 million off of it.
4 or 400?
400.
No kidding.
Like $394,277,815.
Well, it is one of those movies that were helped produced by like an Asian company.
That's insane. So yeah, they went like double their budget.
Yeah.
They went more than double because it was only $129 million.
Yeah, they'll probably make another one then.
Great. I don't know if anyone's seen it or not, but yeah, let us know if there's a post-credit scene. How fucking ridiculous it is.
Because we don't know.
Maybe aliens come down to the next one.
There's no way we're gonna know. Yeah, maybe there will be aliens.
Yeah, and there'll be a Magneto, a tornado with a bunch of megalodons in it.
So there's something I want to talk about. The Taylor Swift Eras tour.
Don't even get me started on that bitch.
But they
Elizabeth
got a
is
movie.
obsessed with her. Yeah, so she's like super, or like was super like about the like nature and everything, and like
Who?
just Taylor Swift.
About
She was
nature?
like, yeah, like nature, and she was like, what's the word?
She was activist. She was an activist for climate.
Yeah. But then people seen that she had a private jet,
Yeah.
and they're like, how are you gonna be, like a climate activist and stuff, and then like have a private jet? And so people would be typing in, like, the biggest search was Taylor Swift jet, and that would pop up of how she's like for that, but has a private jet.
Mm-hmm.
But now that she's with Travis Kelce, who's on the Jets, and now she goes to the Jets games. When you type in Taylor Swift jet, all of her appearances at the Jets games and stuff about her and Travis Kelce pop up now.
Oh, that's a good cover up.
So it's like, oh wow, yeah, you and Travis Kelce are really in love, aren't you? He's covering all of your Google searches for you. Well, yeah, sorry. Anyways, her movie that she produced and starred in and did everything herself, so she gets way more 100% profit and everything.
Mm-hmm.
What about it?
I just wanted to bring it up. I really like Taylor Swift.
Yeah, and also she's charging $20 for her movie tickets, no matter what time it's being showed in every movie theater. So like the movie theater here in Defiance, if you see a movie before
let's see
5,
if that's true, because I got AMC, A+ status. Let's see here if I can get a movie ticket with.
But at the Defiance movie theater, the Phoenix theaters, if you go see a movie before 5, the tickets are only $5. But I'm pretty sure that I went before 5 and the tickets were still at $20.
I would have to pay $23.89 to go see that movie.
I told you, bro. And I'm sure that most of them have sold out too. You know
so
how much money she just made
when I
from
first
that?
found out that the movie was happening, I got on there and looked, and for the first day, it depended on what time you wanted to go see it. For the IMAX in Jefferson Point, you're able to see who's in the theater hour by hour.
Yeah.
And it seemed like in the mornings and in the early afternoons they were filled up.
Oh, you talking about her demographic that she has of people?
But for the ones that you have to be 18 or over to go to, because they're late in the night,
yeah,
they were like barely packed. Like there was a good group of people, but it wasn't nothing like you would see in the morning. And that was opening night in Fort Wayne, Indiana. So
yeah, so that's all the teenage girls and bringing their boyfriends along.
Yeah.
And, yeah, all the little girls want to go see Taylor Swift's new movie that's about a concert that you can just watch online.
Yeah.
But the movie about it, though.
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
I'm surprised you haven't. You're like, oh yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it 6 times. It gets better every time I see it.
It's better every time, man. It's a Picasso. It's art.
Jesus. Oh, is there any good games coming up?
Halloween games, because they're supposed to be on Halloween points. Thank you, Jacob.
Yeah. Well, you brought up Taylor Swift.
Yeah, that
Because
has
it's
nothing to
scary
do-
about how much money she's about to make off of that movie.
It is scary. People are now thinking that she should
terrifying.
be president.
Are you serious?
And I'm like, And then they're like, well, she's been more qualified to be president than the last few presidents we've already had. And
No.
I'm like,
No.
Okay.
Oh my god. Travis Kelce will be the,
First man.
first man.
First gentleman. So Halloween themes. You got any scary movies that you enjoy to watch every year when this time comes around?
Well, me and Elizabeth just watched Evil Dead for the first time.
The first one?
No, I think it's a remake of the first one.
Oh, okay.
And it's like an updated version.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of crazy. I seen a lot of, because it's like Evil Dead and then like Army of Darkness and Ash vs. Evil Dead and everything. And I think in Army of Darkness he like loses his hand, right? And he has like he replaces it with a chainsaw.
It was the one before that.
The one, is it the Ash vs. Evil Dead or whatever? Because Ash is the guy, right?
Yeah.
Well, I know at some point he like loses his hand or like his arm.
Correct.
And he has to replace it with a chainsaw. Well, in this, at the end, it ends up being just the girl. Yeah, spoilers, I guess, again. Ends up being just the girl. And something happens and her, like, forearm gets ripped off.
Oh, God.
And I was like, oh, Easter egg. She lost an arm and it's like the same arm. And then she pulls out a chainsaw and I was like, oh, another Easter egg. And then she uses the chainsaw, like, with her fucked up arm and, like, kills something with it and everything. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. Because it was, like, the same chainsaw and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of cool to see that, like, how they were able to tie all that in. I don't know if it's still, like, counted as part of, like, the timeline, just because of how the original ones are. But I think I watched Army of Darkness. I never watched the show, which I think Ash vs.
So the
Evil
latest
Dead.
one that you've watched, that was with the mom in up in their apartment?
No, the one I seen was...
just the recreated Evil Dead from the first one.
I think it was just a recreation of the first one.
It was out in the woods.
Yeah, it was at a cabin.
Got raped by the woods.
Do what?
You didn't see that scene?
So in this one, it was about all these teenagers. It was this guy and his girlfriend, and then the guy's sister was there, and then their friend and her boyfriend. So there's five people there.
Mm-hmm.
And the sister was like a coke addict or something, and so they took her out there to detox her because she like overdosed a whole bunch of times.
Oh, God.
And so they're like stuck. They're trying to be stuck in this cabin so they can like detox and not be addicted to coke anymore. And a bunch of shit happens. Oh, the one girl's boyfriend opens up, like, they find this book in this cabin, and I'm like, oh, it's a covered up book. Oh, what are we gonna do? Put it back? Because that's what you do with weird shit you don't know. Nope. He cuts it open, and I'm like, oh, now the book's wrapped in barbed wire and blood. Now we should put it back. Nope. Cuts open the barbed wire, unravels it, and is looking through it, and I'm like, oh, I feel like he's going to cut his hand, and there's going to be, like, he's going to put his blood in it. And he's turning the page, he gets a paper cut, blood drips onto it, and I was like, oh my God.
Nice.
Next, you're going to tell me he's going to start reading the fucking incantations and shit that's on it. Oh, what does he do? Yep, he starts reading the words. And he's like, oh, that's weird. This first sentence that I read out of this book says, do not read or write or say these words. Okay, let's read, write, and say these words that are over here.
Yeah.
And it unleashes the evil spirit and everything else. It was kind of crazy. It was like one of those, like, I guess it wasn't like a bad scary movie, like bad where it was so bad that it was good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was alright. It was just, there was a lot of really like, just like creepy shit that was happening because the spirit would jump around between them and everything. In the one scene, the girl's in the bathroom, and the spirit, like the demon or whatever, latches onto her, and they don't know it, and she's been in there, and they're like, oh, we gotta go check on her. And they go in there, and she had broken the glass, and she was taking it to her mouth, and cut her mouth, like, from her cheeks, like, all the way up.
Oh, God.
And it's just like that, like, just creepy, like, skin-crawling type shit. That was, like, the whole movie. It was insane.
Yeah, the latest scary movies that I seen was The Pope Exorcist. And I guess
what did you think of it?
I guess a lot of people didn't like it, but I really enjoyed it for what it was. It was strangely enjoyable to watch because the movie that we watched before that was an Evil Dead movie. It was
The Evil Dead Rises?
Yeah, The Evil Dead Rises. And when you go to a movie that's like a bunch of blood, gut, horror,
like really gory.
Yeah. To what the Pope's Exorcist was, it was kind of like a breath of fresh air after you get
guts.
one sort of scare into another sort of scare, and it kind of balances it out. And I felt pretty good after going to watch both those. Both those movies were really good, but for different reasons. And
The Pope's Exorcist had where the mom's, so like the mom's mom, like the grandma, whatever, dies, and then they get the house, right?
I thought the husband died, or they were getting a divorce or something, and the castle was like in their family that they got.
Maybe that's what it was. Yeah, me and Elizabeth watched it, and it was just, I don't remember much from it, but it was okay. I remember seeing a whole bunch of really bad reviews on it.
No, and it has a 50% on Rotten Tomato.
I think there's only a couple movies that have like 100%. It's like Titanic.
But that's just the tomato review. The audience score is an 81.
So is the tomato just the actual like review people doing it?
Those are like the professionals, quote unquote.
Oh yeah. The professional movie watchers.
Yeah. They got people who read what they have to write, and so they're technically the professionals.
Yeah.
But that's the most recent stuff. My favorite horror movie would probably be Darkness Falls.
I think I've heard of it. I don't think I've seen it.
So a lot of people haven't seen this movie, and it's one of those that I don't really want to spoil, just because you should probably go in. Well, let's see what the
You look at like the Rotten Tomato score and everything on it.
Yeah.
What's it about?
Because it's a 2003 film. It's PG-13.
It can't be that scary.
It has a 9% Rotten Tomato score. So it could just be nostalgia for me, because it has been a long time since I've seen it. The audience score is a 34. So,
oh God.
I don't know. And it has a bunch of actors that a lot of people don't know. Like the most
Yeah, what's the most well-known actor?
The most well-known actor that I can tell is Emily Browning. She was in
Oh yeah.
a bunch of stuff like she was in a movie called like Sleeping Beauty, I think, and Sucker Punch. She was in Sucker Punch. I really liked her in that.
Just like a B-rated movie kind of thing.
It was well done. It was a well done movie. I don't want to say it's up. Okay, so this is the description for the movie that's on Google.
Yeah.
In Maine, the residents of Darkness Falls are all aware of the legend of Matilda Dixon, an old woman who was tragically murdered by a mob in the 1800s because the townspeople thought she was killing children. Now, Darkness Falls has to contend with Matilda's supernatural wrath. Childhood friend Kylie and Caitlin return home to uncover the truth behind the legend after Caitlin's little brother has reoccurring nightmares about Matilda.
All right, so first of all, let's ask the question on why we're moving to a town called Darkness Falls
In Maine.
in Maine.
So that's the
the first fuck up
part of the United States. If you don't know, because I know a lot of your generation don't know simple geography.
Yeah, that's what we got Google Maps for. Yeah, so the town's called Darkness Falls?
The town is called Darkness Falls. Apparently.
Yeah, let's go move there.
Let's move. All right, kids. Work's not really too good here. I'm going to become a lobster farmer in Maine, Darkness Falls.
And then weird shit starts happening, and you're like, oh no, how could weird, scary, paranormal shit be happening in a town, the little town of Darkness Falls?
So spoilers now, because I want to talk about it. So if you are interested in going and see this movie, you kind of have to pay for it. It's not streaming anywhere because I tried to watch it recently.
Yeah, it's got a 9 on Rotten Tomatoes. They got to make their money where they can.
Yeah, I guess so. Anyways, spoiler, or you can just keep listening. I'm probably not going to go too much into it, but I'll I'll give like a good rundown. So this lady is basically a tooth fairy.
Like she takes kids' teeth?
That's a tooth fairy. Yeah.
Well, I was just confused.
But she's like
the
this
tooth fairy.
creepy, like black, dark figure with this creepy ass mask. So the children she collects these teeth from, if they look at her, she takes them and murders them.
Is that her?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's her with her mask off.
Yeah, that's pretty creepy.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like no tooth fairy I've ever seen before.
So that image is at the very end where they try to kill her. They kill her at a lighthouse.
Gotcha.
Because she's allergic to light. Like most dark figures, you know.
So in Darkness Falls, they have a lighthouse?
Of course they do.
I
It's
figured it would
Darkness
just
Falls.
be... Yeah.
There's a lot of shipping.
There's no light allowed.
Maine has a lot of shipping stuff going on.
Yeah, I guess. And so, yeah, so anyway, so the tooth fairy...
She's basically a tooth fairy, and she takes these kids' teeth.
So it's like a spirit? Or is it an actual person, like, breaking into these people's houses?
I would describe it as a fucking monster. You saw what she looked like.
Yeah.
And it's not like she walks around. She's a fucking witch.
Oh, so is she like you
She's
just see her
flying
like
around
float?
and shit, and it's super creepy. And that came out in 2003.
Yeah.
So I was 11 years old when I was watching this. So 11-year-old Nicholas James over here was sitting down watching this creepy ass movie. I couldn't go to sleep in the dark after that. It was awful. I was like, no, I'm not going out in that kitchen right now. I don't care how bad I want a Pepsi at 1 o'clock in the morning after watching Family Guy or whatever stupid shit I was doing. It's like, I'm not walking into the kitchen to get a Pepsi.
So does she do anything with these teeth? Or she leave money behind?
I think that's how she like retains her powers. But I'm not.
Kids' teeth?
Yeah. But
Okay.
I'm not super 100% on that. It's been a while since I watched that movie.
Does she leave money for him?
Or
she just takes
I
the
think
teeth and...
she leaves a coin. She
Like
leaves,
a special
She
coin?
leaves like some weird coin.
Gotcha.
But the main protagonist of the movie dealt with her when he was a kid. And he somehow got away, but he's been going through a lot of mental stuff. So he's like keeping lights on, and he has flashlights on him at all times, keeping batteries charged. Like he's paranoid about it.
That's when you need that wind-up flashlight.
It's a really good character. Like the actors in it kind of sell this movie to begin with. So I enjoyed the movie. I don't know why people gave it a 9. I probably should watch it again before I start saying good things about this movie that I enjoyed.
Like I was like, oh yeah, Dragon Ball Evolution is a great movie, and then I rewatched it and I'm like, why did they even make this movie?
Oh jeez, I know it's. I don't know. Maybe we should just rewatch it again before I keep saying too many things about it.
Yeah, we'll move on.
What else? What else? I don't know. What else have you guys been up to?
Not much of anything.
You guys didn't go trick-or-treating or nothing like that?
No, I didn't go trick-or-treating. I'm 23.
You didn't pass out candy in your
Down this
new
street?
house? Yeah.
No.
No trunk-or-treats?
No. I think, yeah, I just celebrated Halloween by going and seeing the Five Nights at Freddy's movie.
Oh, okay.
Went and had a Halloween party last night.
Yeah, I was
pretty
there.
fun. Yeah.
Talk about it like I wasn't there.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish you were there, bro. It was a lot of fun.
I had a nice fire.
Yeah.
I built that fire.
Did you?
Somebody got it started, but I kept putting more shit on it.
Yeah, we ended up doing playing a game where you like one person will be blindfolded and they have a Nerf gun. It was like a little bit after you left, and then you gotta like everybody else has to be quiet, and that one person with a blindfold is supposed to try and shoot someone.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, we should put a needle at the end of them. That way you'll really know if you got shot or not. I'm glad we didn't, because that shit would have hurt. That Nerf gun was firing the bullets.
You don't say.
Then I didn't think, oh yeah, what if someone gets shot in the eye? Yeah,
with your
it's
luck,
like
somebody
fun,
definitely would have got shot in the eye, and it would have been you.
Yeah.
But luckily enough, you got glasses.
Just sticks into my glasses. It's like a centimeter away from my eyeball. Yeah, so you've been rewatching Dragon Ball, right?
Yes, I have been rewatching Dragon Ball, and I'm on the episode where they're at the tournament, and Goku and Yoshi, Master Roshi, are fighting currently.
That's the first tournament that they have, right?
Correct. And the fight has been taking a few episodes, but it's not
As
long.
Dragon Ball fights do.
It's not as long as the Frieza fight between Goku.
It's a whole season long.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to go back and rewatch it again with all the news of all the new Dragon Ball stuff coming out soon.
Yeah, a funny thing that we found out is that when they gather the Dragon Balls, or like the Pilaf gang gathers Dragon Balls or whatever, Oolong makes his wish. And what I remembered it being, and what apparently the English dub is different. So in the English dub, he wishes for the most comfortable set of underwear. And then in the Japanese, it's the what was it? The softest little girl's underwear or something. And I was like, wow, yeah. No wonder they changed it. I'm gonna look up exactly what it was.
Yeah, they wanted to, when they did the dub, I'm sure they wanted to make it a bit more friendly for anybody to be able to watch.
Yeah, in the English he says the world's most comfortable underwear, and in the Japanese he says, or he wishes for a young girl's panties.
Yeah.
And then it magically falls from the sky.
Yeah, I wonder why they would want to change that. I don't know.
Yeah, no. we would totally allow that. That's
Right.
perfectly fine. I know with a lot of stuff they do is like between the English and Japanese versions is they don't just change like the sub and dub. Sometimes if like a character has a cigar or a cigarette, I know it happens with One Piece a lot. They change it and make it a sucker instead, or like
early One Piece, they do change a lot of stuff to make it.
More
I
like
guess kid
kid-friendly.
friendly.
Yeah.
Is the only way I could describe it. And I'm in like the middle early section of One Piece, and you definitely tell they're progressing to saying more damn and other words that lead up to being vulgar, I guess. And I the only thing I can think of is that they want to grow with the audience.
Yeah. Yeah, because that series is run for how long?
I remember,
early 2000s is when it started, right? Or no, probably before that.
I remember they were announcing the first few episodes when I was a kid. But the first time I remember watching it, I wasn't too impressed by it, though. I was like, I just want to watch whatever else was on at the time.
Yeah, I know. I always skipped over it. But now, see, I tried to watch it, and I think the only reason I can really watch like Dragon Ball and Naruto and stuff is just because I'm more like, it's more nostalgia, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of the stuff in this, I'm like, it's like kind of cringy in some points. It was the first episode or the first volume was released in December 24th, 1997. So it's been going on for, let's see, what is that, 10, 20, almost 25 years or something like that.
Yeah.
That's insane. Over 1,000 episodes. You can start it right now, watch an episode a day, and never catch up with it.
No, I do plan on catching up with it eventually. I'm just taking my time. I'm not in a rush to be one of those weekly watchers. I already do that with a lot of animes that I've been watching, and it sucks waiting for the new season.
Yeah.
Or even wondering if it's going to get a next season.
That's what I'm doing with Demon Slayer right now. Is, you know, watching it, catching up and everything, and then you're like, oh, gotta wait another 2 years before the next season comes out. Or Attack on Titan, which is like, okay, the 4th season, it's gonna be the last season. Okay, we're gonna release it, and it's like, oh wait, actually, we're only gonna release the first half. Like, so it's a part 1 of season 4. And they're like, okay, yeah, we're only gonna do 2 parts.
Mm-hmm.
And then they release the second part, and they're like, actually, we're doing 3 parts. And now they're talking about doing 4 parts just because there's so much stuff that happens that they want to put in there and shove in at the last second. They keep just like, all right, well, there's going to be 4 parts, 5 parts.
They can't just add on another season.
You know, that would be the smart thing to do. But no, they're keeping the same amount of episodes, but just trying to cram as much shit in as possible, I guess.
Okay.
Or unless each one's going to be, unless they do just do a 5th season.
That'll look weird on, like, when you're trying to watch it on...
Season 1 is 20 episodes, Season 2, 20, Season 3, 20, Season 4, 500.
You just got, like, 50 episodes at the last season.
Yeah.
Just do the reverse of what the Hunger Games did. Or Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, yeah. Yeah, the last season was so bad because apparently I didn't know this, but the author wasn't done writing the last book by the time that they were ready to film.
Yeah, they were like 2 books ahead of him.
Well, the author was apparently like there for like the creative side of it. It's like, oh yeah, this is what I plan on doing. Then he's seen how much everybody hated the ending, and he's like, oh, actually, I'm gonna change it in the books. So everyone's like, oh, the books end so much better. And it's like, yeah, because he's seen how shit the original one was, like, in the show. I mean, Jesus.
It was just rushed. If I really wanted to get into how much Game of Thrones was a disappointment, we could make a whole other podcast about that, really.
Yeah.
But that would involve a beer or 2 and pulling up the scenes that were the real disappointment.
Yeah. I started rewatching it again, and the first time I watched through it, got to the Red Wedding when what's his name, Rob? Or no, that was the dad. I can't remember, but him and his pregnant wife die and everything, and I stopped watching it for a couple months. Now I'm rewatching it, and I got it to that point, and I'm like, yeah, I already know what happens. I'll just be able to just blow past it. Did it, and I'm like, I think I gotta take a break from watching it. It's so shit. Oh, dude. So the point where the girl's pregnant and the guy comes up and just stabs her in the stomach a whole bunch of times is like, God, that's so fucked up.
Well, that stuff had to happen to make this scene later on where, spoiler alert, Arya got revenge for the Starks, though, by taking down the house that did it.
Yeah, the old guy. I can't remember his name, but yeah. The House of Dragons is really good, though, because that's... the ending of Game of Thrones sucked, but House of Dragons is really good.
I couldn't get into it.
The only thing that kind of off-put me a little bit was that halfway through the season, they do such a major time jump that they switch the main characters.
Yeah.
But they don't switch all of them. Only some of them.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of weird because it's like, oh...
They're completely different people now.
Completely different people, but some of these people are still the same actors. So they just didn't change at all. And I'm pretty sure, like, with Daemon, like, the main guy, the uncle or whatever, they didn't do anything to him. So it's like, oh, he's just looked the same for the last 20 years.
He wore those clothes yesterday in our time.
Yeah. Oh, they had clothes around that long? I can't even keep clothes that good for that long.
Oh, jeez.
Season 2 is going to be really good, though. As Elizabeth's been giving me some spoilers.
How many seasons have they come out with that?
I don't know, because I know they're planning a bunch of spin-offs. So I don't know if they're going to keep it House of the Dragon for just so many seasons, and then like when they start to do a different story, they'll just make a different spin-off. But it's like so much farther behind where Game of Thrones started.
I know my dad wants a spin-off of Arya Stark, what she does afterwards, because she wants to go see...
They just said
west of Westeros.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you gonna say anything about that?
She's supposed to become like a badass pirate or something like that.
Oh, she's gonna go be a pirate?
So she's gonna be like Luffy. She's gonna be like helping people out that ask for it.
Gotcha. Because she didn't fully commit to that many-faced god thing, right?
No.
Yeah. I just remember they made her blind, and that one bitch just started beating the shit out of her.
Now she's got any face she needs.
Yeah. Yeah, because I know they're planning on... I just seen a poster for it, and it's just called Snow, and it's about Jon Snow and everything. I don't know if they plan on doing it. It's like after Game of Thrones, and like what he does after, because he just gets sent back to the Wall.
Yeah.
So
what's gonna happen now?
Yeah, I don't know.
They got nothing to protect them. They killed all the White Walkers.
Yeah. See, I don't know. They also plan on doing one that's about like the... I think it's going to be about so Theon Greyjoy's uncle, that one Greyjoy guy that was like a pirate with all his ships and everything. I think they're gonna do a spin-off about him and his group and like the pirates of that.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. That guy was a dick too. I don't know why they would, if that's what they're doing, why they would make a spin-off off of him. Out of all the characters in Game of Thrones, you could do backstory on the Hound and the Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody loved those characters. You do backstory on just the many-faced god shit in general.
Yeah.
Like all that.
They got so much lore that they can dig into at this point.
Yeah. HBO hired me for Game of Thrones. I'll write some ideas. People would love to see that shit.
I don't think the audience is there anymore, though.
The hype definitely was built up and then kind of dropped down.
Mm-hmm.
It built up a little bit when House of Dragon came out, but it's just they have to wait so long in between, each season. Like, I think the season 2 of House of the Dragon isn't even coming out until like next year, and it ended like a year or two ago.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's almost like Stranger Things. Everyone will keep coming back for that, but you just wait. Like,
American Horror Stories is another one of those shows that everybody seems to come back to.
Yeah. They have a couple different, because there's American Horror Story,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like HSS, but then there's also American Horror Stories. It's like a spin-off. And they like go through different
Is
different
that like
stories.
more of an episodic adventure, not a seasonal thing?
I think so.
Okay.
Instead of the each season being centered around something, I think it's like every episode. I'm not sure. I haven't actually watched it.
That'd be cool if they did do something like that then.
The Walking Dead did something like that.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, because The Walking Dead's my favorite show ever. I'm not gonna say it's the best show. It's got its downfalls, but they've got so many spin-offs now. Because started off with just The Walking Dead, and then it was Fear the Walking Dead. What was the one they did after that? They did like an online show where it wasn't like through cable.
Okay.
Just like an online special, and it was about the red machete that Rick had when he killed the Terminus people.
Yeah.
And that's what it was centered around. And it was just all the different people that had picked up the red machete to do stuff with it. So that was a whole thing. And then there's the Walking Dead World Beyond. It's like a coming-of-age story of teenagers in the apocalypse. Like people that have been born in the apocalypse and like that's all they know. And they have to go rescue their dad who's a scientist and all this shit.
Mm-hmm.
It was alright. It was a story that needed to happen. But I'm glad I watched it. But there's no probably never gonna watch it again. And then there's still more. There's the Negan and Maggie spinoff, which is like the Walking Dead Dead City or something. Then there's the one that's just called Dixon. That's the Daryl show, like the Daryl spinoff. And then the one that I was talking about was I can't remember what it's called. But every episode, it's a Walking Dead story, and every episode is different. Except I think there's like 1 or 2 episodes that link in together.
Okay.
But they go through a bunch of different stuff. Like the first episode has Terry Crews in it. He's in a Walking Dead thing and he fights zombies and shit.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. Then they go into the backstory of like Alpha from like The Walking Dead and everything, and like what she was doing when it first started and all that stuff. I think that's like a 2-episode long story, and then they just like go on and they do different things. I don't think it did well enough to where they might it did well enough to where they might. But I don't know if they would want to do another one at risk of it not doing as good.
I tried to get into Walking Dead. I tried. It just got to a point where I couldn't keep up with it anymore.
Yeah. Season 2 is all about the farm. And there's that season that's about the hospital, and those are really like the worst ones. I know like the viewership on like throughout the seasons just kind of like wave through,
Oh, really?
going low and then going high, and cause I know the viewership was like really low, and then when they brought in Negan, it like kind of popped up a lot.
Mm-hmm. They hyped him up a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot of lead up to him, which I think Negan's probably my favorite character. He's pretty dope. Yeah,
The psychopath.
he's not really that bad. He
Rick's,
was a
Rick's
gym
at least
teacher.
a shepherd.
A what?
Negan's kind of just a psychopath.
Yeah. That's true.
Rick's done some awful things, though, but he's more of a shepherd archetype than...
Yeah, you remember the scene when he bit off that dude's neck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was like, just to get this done and over with.
Yeah. And did you know when they were filming that, they were like, hey, do you want us to do it like, what was it? We can have it with cooked meat or with raw meat to where it'll look good instead of doing prosthetics. They're like, which one would you prefer? And he was like, oh, whichever one it would look better with. So they had like raw pork as like the part of the dude's neck, and when he bit into it, that's what he bit into. And I was like, oh my god, he's committed.
Hey, whatever makes the scene better.
Yeah.
You kind of have to be committed to that craft at that point.
That was definitely like a
commitment.
Jumped the scene up, yeah, because it's like, oh, he's like getting bear hugged by this dude, and they're like outnumbered and everything. Like, oh, what can he do? And it's like, oh, damn, he just bit that dude's neck off. So, like, my favorite drink is probably Pepsi Nitro, like the vanilla one. And Nick has a problem with it because I don't hard pour it.
Don't do it, man.
I drink it out of the can.
Don't do it. So, the first time I remember you getting a Pepsi Nitro, I saw the Pepsi logo and I was like, oh, that's a weird can. What is that? And you were like, oh, this is Pepsi Nitro. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Look, can I take a look at the can? And I look at the can and I'm like looking over, and there's a lot of instructions for a drink.
Yeah, let's look at them real quick. They're listed on the bottle. Chill can.
And you're supposed to have it cold.
Pour hard.
And it's a hard pour. So you're supposed to dump the liquid out of the can into another cup.
Admire and enjoy. That's the last instruction.
And he does neither of these.
I just pop it open, drink it right out of the can. So I work with this guy. His name's Mike. He's a really cool dude. And he used to be like a bartender and everything, so he knows all about like the different, like how different pours affect stuff. And I was doing that, and he was like, are you drinking that right out of the can? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, you're supposed to hard pour it. I was like, oh my god, I've heard this before. I'm like, yeah, I know. I just drink it out of the can. Why waste more dishes? And he's like, just try it. Just try hard pouring it. And he was like, oh, it does something like adding air into it, and it makes it more light and everything else. And he's like, it tastes so much better. I was like, all right. Did it, and I was like, this tastes the same to me. I don't see any difference. It's like fluffier, yeah, like if that's a good way to describe it. It's like lighter.
The only reason I think they want you to hard pour is because all the gases that are already building up in it will be released when you give that hard pour, because it'll fizzle out of it.
Oh, so it's not just stuck in the can still.
So when you drink it without doing that hard pour, I'm assuming all those gases would go to your gut and make you burp more.
Oh. Is that how that works?
I don't know. I'm not a fucking doctor, bro. Got you convinced, though.
Yeah, hey, that sounds like it's right.
All you gotta do is sound convincing people. You can trick anybody.
Yeah, as long as you sound like you know what you're talking about, everyone will just agree with you. Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's definitely sounds like something that would happen.
Oh, well, we're coming up to our last 2 minutes, everybody.
Yeah. That was an hour?
Yeah, that's 1 hour right there. In and out.
First episode. We plan on having different guests that will come over and do it with us and everything, and guest appearances, and we'll try to focus more on like different subjects and everything. Since this was the first one, we kind of skipped around.
Yeah.
It's almost like test run.
Yeah.
A little bit of stuff in there for everybody. You know, we got Game of Thrones, horror movies, Pepsi Nitro, Taylor Swift, Walking Dead, Dragon Ball, One Piece. Yeah. Well,
also, I'll bring Elon Musk in. It's like, at least our test run didn't end with $1 million crash on our
Oh,
hands,
yeah.
so.
We didn't have to change our name to X. If you're hearing this, Elon Musk, we're sorry. Please come and do our podcast with us.
I don't mind the things you do.
Are you real? That's the question. That's the real question.
Please tell us, are there lizard people in our government?
Yeah, are they underground?
Have you ever seen a shapeshifter live? If you have seen a shapeshifter, please call this number. 111-11-11-1111.
Yeah. So, see, what kind of intro or outro should we do?
The rest of the song.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. We'll fix it in post.
We gotta fix it in post. It's already too late now.